What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster. And when a gross insect or something like that lands in your lap, what is your instinctive response?
Get it away!
Well, Disney seems to have delayed instincts when it comes to this, but it seems they are finally coming to understand that Rey Skywalker, that all of the sequel trilogy Star Wars stuff should be treated like a gross-ass bug and shooed away immediately. For too long, Disney embraced their fan fiction Star Wars trilogy nonsense, not understanding why it ignited a primal instinct in Star Wars fans, revulsing us and compelling us to push Disney Star Wars away. Case in point, this video that I'm making seems unlikely to get as many views as most of my other videos because when it comes to Star Wars these days,
nobody gives a shit!
But that's okay. As a Schadenfreude enthusiast, I still feel compelled to talk about this, because it seems as though we have more evidence that Disney is ditching Rey and the sequel trilogy stuff, in this climate of cultural change where Disney movies seem almost as likely to lose them hundreds of millions of dollars as they are to turning a profit. It seems that Disney is distancing itself as much as possible from Rey Skywalker. Their Seasons of the Force event at Disneyland is apparently drawing some pretty big crowds. They've brought out the big guns. They've brought in Luke Skywalker, which brought long lines. And in fact, this is just more evidence that Disney has realized that what they've created with the sequel trilogy stuff is just a joke by the vast majority of Star Wars fans.
I'm Rey.
Who?
Rey Skywalker.
Liar!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to support the channel by becoming a member. There are multiple exclusive projects you won't want to miss out on that will be available to members only, including the Space Pirate cartoon showing in the background here. There will be more information coming soon, but it occurred to me that we can't just complain about the things we don't like in our culture, we have to push the things that we do like. So, if you're interested in supporting a venture like that, consider becoming a member of the channel. In any event, let's talk some Star Wars. We haven't talked about Star Wars for a while because a lot of us just kinda don't care about it anymore. It isn't particularly culturally relevant these days, not since Star Wars The Acolyte last summer, and that was only culturally relevant because it was the butt of everybody's jokes for a couple of months. But it was so bad that it seems to have finally broken Star Wars into pieces so small that now even Disney is taking notice and deciding to start trying to win the fan base back. It's pretty much too little too late at this point, of course, but it's interesting to see Luke Skywalker drawing big crowds at Disneyland. The fact that Disney put out a sequel film without giving us Han, Luke, Lando, Leia, without bringing the old band back together again and making them the focal point, that will most likely go down as just about the biggest blunder in the history of cinema. Sure, Disney made some money right when the movies released, but they haven't made much on Star Wars since. They have damaged the brand irreparably. This was extremely arrogant, to think that they could create something that Star Wars fans would want to see instead of the creations that George Lucas invented. It was short-sighted, and in the long run, they have gotten their asses kicked. This is why I suspect the Rey movie was pushed back a couple of times now. It was originally supposed to come out next year, at the date when the Mandalorian and Grogu film is coming out, but it got moved back to December of 2026. Now it's been moved again to an undetermined date. By all accounts, they don't even have a script for the movie yet. My guess is that unless something drastic changes in the culture, unless people suddenly start flocking to Star Wars again, Disney will quietly shelve the movie, and it just won't happen like so many other Star Wars projects over the years. But let's read about what's happening at Disneyland, because it fills me with all kinds of satisfaction to be able to say, I told you, Disney. But anyhow, we're going to read from this article from the site Pirates and Princesses. It says, Disney is surprising us when it comes to Star Wars. During their new Seasons of the Force event at Disneyland, they unveiled a new projection show focused on the Skywalker saga. The new show is called Shadows of Memory, a Skywalker saga, and the only Skywalkers shown are the actual ones from the prequel trilogy and original trilogy. Anakin, Luke, and Leia are the focus of the show. Disney's own trilogy is pushed aside. Now, of course, you might point out that this show is called the Shadows of Memory, so of course the sequel trilogy isn't involved. But let me ask you this, who named the show? It's not as though this show was found in nature or something, and that upon encountering it, Disney simply had to acquiesce and only include prequel and original trilogy stuff. No, they created the show themselves, knowing damn well what would actually get people interested. This was a conscious decision. If they thought that Rey would get people excited, they could have called it Shadows of the Skywalker Saga or something like that. But let's read some more of the article where they talk about the reaction to Luke Skywalker showing up at Galaxy's Edge. It says, many have commented that Disney should have always had Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars area of both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Luke and Anakin/Vader were the core characters of Star Wars for years. Instead, Disney has chosen to focus on their characters and trilogy. While understandable, it has proven to be a move with limited success. Guests and fans want the Star Wars they have loved for decades to be front and center, and if you want some evidence of people being excited, check out the crowds in this clip here, which they have a link to in this article.
Luke Skywalker in Galaxy's Edge. Dude, look at this crowd.
Now, a lot of people, myself included, have commented that the dude playing Luke here doesn't look all that much like him, but it doesn't seem to matter much, does it? When people think Star Wars, this is what they're thinking. They want Luke, Vader, Yoda, etc. I promise you that Disney notices this. Now, whether this prompts them to make the proper choices, to do something, anything, to fix their broken franchise, that remains to be seen. This company is the sort of stupid to try to find ways to keep selling us Rey. It kinda reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream. At my house, when I was growing up, everybody ate the chocolate and strawberry right away, and then the vanilla just sat there for a while, until someone desperate for some ice cream finally ate it. Rey is the vanilla ice cream that just sits there with nobody interested. The original trilogy and the prequels are the chocolate and strawberry. For a while, these chuckleheads at Disney thought they could get by with trying to sell us just plain vanilla, without the other flavors. Maybe, just maybe, the light bulb will go off now for someone at the company, and they will realize that selling plain chocolate or strawberry, that is how they're gonna make some money. If there's any way to make some money with Star Wars and Disney, that would be how they do it. But I'm gonna leave it there. drop your mockery of Disney and Rey Skywalker into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.